Hello and welcome. We're going to be solving one-step equations today. So, to solve an equation, that is a skill we are developing, means to find all values of the variables that make the equation true. Each value that makes an equation true is a solution. So, solutions make an equation true. Equivalent equations have the same solution. So, key concept, we have words. If a number is added to each side of a true equation, the resulting equivalent equation is also true, the additive property of equality. So, for any real numbers a, b, and c, if a equals b, then a plus c equals b plus c. Should be understood. We have the additive property of equality. So as long as two things are equal, if you add or subtract the same number from both sides, it'll be true. And that's what the subtraction property of equality has. If we have two equivalent equations and we take the same amount away, it works. And then once we just use numbers in general, it makes a lot of sense because this is adding positive and this would be adding a negative number. To our first example. G minus 25 equals 113. So what this shows is we are now going to add 25 to both sides. Negative 25 and positive 25 cancel. 113 plus 25 makes 138. Horizontal method. Then we have the vertical method. Add those dots. Add 25 to both sides. Cancel. G equals 138. Now it's going to have a substitute 138 to check it. This is our proposed solution, so we're going to put 138 here. And 138 minus 25 is 113, so this is a true statement. Solve 2/3 plus w equals 1.5. State which property of equality you used. Well, we're going to add negative 2/3 to both sides, so let's see. Since we are going to be subtracting from both sides, that will be the subtraction property of equality. And converting this is 4 over 6. Converting this, so we have 1 and 3 over 6. So we have 4 over 6 plus w equals 9 over 6. So we're going to solve this, we have to use the subtraction property of equality, and the answer is going to be 5 over 6 because 5 and 4 will make 9. Solve by subtraction. Use the subtraction property of equality to solve 27 plus k equals 30. All right. So first up, the horizontal method has us subtract 27 from both sides like this. Cancel, cancel, and we're left with 3. The horizontal method has us subtract 27 underneath. Cancel, cancel, and we're still left with 3. To solve it, we plug in 3. 27 plus 3 is 30. All right, now we got to check. We're solving a plus 26 is 35. Subtract 26 from both sides. Cancel. This gives us 9. So a is going to equal 9. When solving equations, you can use either the horizontal or vertical method. Both of them work. Talk about it. Anne says that you could solve 27 plus k equals 30 by using the addition property of equality. Explain her reasoning. Oh, For this one, you'd be adding a negative number. So I'm going to add the opposite of positive 27, which is negative 27 to both sides. So if we were to do that with the vertical method, I am going to add negative 27 to both sides. Adding a negative number is the same as subtracting. 3. In tennis, the Grand Slam tournament are the 4 most prestigious annual events. At one point in his career, Roger Federer had won more than 3 Grand Slam singles titles than Rafael Nadal. If at the time Roger F held the record for the most Grand Slam titles won with 17, how many Grand Slam titles had Rafael N won? Complete the table. So 3 more than. All right. So RF had won 3 more titles than Rafael. So RF minus 3 equals Rn. All right. RF at the time of the record was 17. Okay. Let N be the number of singles. RF. Complete the table and write an equation that represents the number of Grand Slam titles run by Rn. Okay. Well, so if he won 3 more, we have he won 17. And we got to take 3 away. Equals RF. Oh, and they did the opposite. They started it with N plus 3. So we know that if we added 3 to his, we could solve it. I set it up as 17, take away 3. Gives us the same answer. So what they did is we're going to add negative 3 to both sides. And we get 14. So our N114. Check. On average, a male bulldog weighs 15 pounds less than a male golden retriever. If the average male bulldog weighs 50 pounds, write and solve an equation to find the average weight of a golden retriever. All right. So a male bulldog weighs 15 less than a golden retriever. So a golden retriever. So what we're looking for, the golden retriever's weight. And we know that the bulldog is 15 less than that. And that equals the weight of the average bulldog. So we have 50 equals W minus 15. That means the golden retriever is going to equal 50 plus 15. So the golden retriever's weight will be 65. So we need the answer to be 65. Get rid of our 35 ones. And our original had the weight minus 15 for A. Solving one-step equations with multiplication and division properties. Multiplication property of equality. If 2 numbers equal each other, multiplying both sides by the same number will not change it. We have x equals 3, multiply both sides by 8, we get 8x equals 24. The division property, same idea. As long as they are equal, if you divide one side by a number, it'll stay equal. So we have a equals a, divide both sides by c, same thing. X equals negative 35. If we divide both sides by 7, we're going to get the same ratio. All right, solve the equation. Oh, fractions, fun. So what we're going to use, we have to flip our fractions to solve these. That's how we cancel them out. So how do we get rid of 3/8? We multiply it by its reciprocal of 8/3. So multiply both sides by 8/3. Cancel, 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 cancel. 8 times 9 is 72. 3 and 4 make 12. 12 over 72. Well, 12 times 5 is 60. So 12 times 7. Next up, we got to divide both sides by -14. What we see here is when we divide both sides by -14, we get an answer of -3. So check. We have 6y equals 54. To solve this, we have to divide both sides by 6. 54 divided by 6 is 9. For our think about it, what happens if you divide each side of 8x equals 32 by 8? Well, dividing both sides by 8 gives us x equals 4. This is the division property of equality. What happens here? Same thing, we're going to divide both sides by a. So we get x equals 32 over a. That's the division property of equality. You're just dividing both sides by the number a. And it asks, how does it relate to this one right here? We divided both sides by the number attached to x to maintain it. Describe a method you could use to check your solution to part A. Plug 7 in. 7 times 3 divided by 8, does it equal 9 over 4? So 7 times 3 gives us 21. And 21 over 8. Yeah, because let's take a look. If we were to reduce that, this becomes... Oh, I'm not thinking right. This isn't 7, this is 6. Sorry about that. 72 divided by 12 is 6, not 7. No wonder my math wasn't working out. When we plug this in, we get 6 times 8 is 24. Not 24. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 over 8 can be reduced to 9 over 4. All right, let's see. Kenji took a survey of the sophomore class. If 96 sophomores, or 2/3 of the class, said they were going to the football game on Saturday, how many sophomores were in the survey? So 96 equals 2/3 of x. So what is the task? Find total students. How could you find the answer to your question? By setting up an equation. How will we approach this task? We're going to write an equation and solve it. What equation represents the number of this one? 96 equals 2/3 of x. How many sophomores were there? We're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3 over 2. So 45, 48. So this becomes 3 times 48 equals x. And what I did was I got the cutting in half part. Cancel, 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 cancel. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 40 is 120. So this will be 144 equals x. How can you know that your solution is reasonable? You can check it. $96 is 2/3 of 144. I've defended myself. That's a statement. If people don't believe it, you can type it into a calculator and prove it. Then on the back, fashion. Amani is making a costume for a play. She spent $146.58 on 21 yards of fabric. Write and solve an equation to find out how much Amani paid for each yard of fabric. All right, so we have our total cost, 146.58. This was spent on 21 yards, but we don't know the cost per yard, so there's an X. They're using P as their variable, all right. But if we divide both sides by 21, we get the answer. So 21 times a variable equals 146. Okay, absolutely not. We're not multiplying that by 21. So it could be either of these ones. Now, before we go any farther, is there any way she paid $3,078 per yard? Absolutely not. So we wrote our equation before we had to do math. We just checked our answers. We were able to get rid of two bad ones. This one made no sense. If she only spent $146.58, she couldn't have spent $3,078 per yard. So the answer must be A.